Buster, the Mariners had a controversial offseason, some unpopular comments from Jerry Dipoto. I know you covered those at length. Controversial roster moves to shed salary. We're going to get to some stuff about RSN later, but they overall made some nice signings considering limited resources. What do you think of the team right now?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's a good assessment. And it's not only the Mariners, as you know, who've been having issues because of the questions around the television deal. The Rangers are having the same thing. You know, as we began the offseason, I think there was a broad assumption, for example, that the Rangers would re-sign Jordan Montgomery and they would be in on the Josh Hader conversations. But they weren't able to do it. And there probably were another half dozen to 10 teams that were basically held back because of the questions about television money. And so for me, when you look at the Mariners and what they did in the offseason within that context, and you look at what the biggest problem was, I think that they actually did okay. Signing Mitch Garver, trading for Luke Raley. I think they added some, which to me was the big question about the team coming into the year, and they still have that great pitching staff.
Buster, you mentioned the TV money and how it affected the way teams have been moving this offseason. Over here in Seattle, man, we're thinking it's just rinse and repeat when it comes to us, right? They don't really spend a lot of money. Stacey mentioned that we felt like they did okay with their resources. How has this team's identity changed from last year with Gino and Teo to this year with the new additions? How different is this team?
It remains to be seen because, let's face it, the players that they added, I don't think any of them you would necessarily think of as being superstar guys, right? It's not like they went out and added a guy who you could pencil in 40 home runs. But they did add depth. And I remember at the end of last year talking with some of the Astros players, some of the Rangers players about the Mariners, and that's the feedback that I got, that there wasn't a lot of offensive depth. And it felt like at times, when Raleigh and Julio weren't hitting, there wasn't a lot around them. Well, I think they have a chance now with the guys they added to lengthen that lineup, to make them a little bit more dynamic. And it is interesting. I talked to Evan Grant, who has covered the division forever. He's a beat writer covering the Rangers. And I asked him last week who's going to win the division. He said, I think the Mariners are. And that reflects, I think, the view of a lot of people that they think the Mariners are going to be really good this year.